I woke up to the sound of machines beeping. Slow, faint, almost like a heartbeat echoing in a dream. The ceiling above me was blurry, the lights too bright, and my body felt impossibly heavy. For a moment, I didn't remember where I was. Then the memory hit me like a wave. I was in a hospital. The pain before that moment had been unbearable. Sharp, crushing pain in my chest. I remember my husband's voice shouting for help, the paramedics rushing in, the oxygen mask pressed against my face, and then silence. That silence was the strangest part. It wasn't empty, it was full, like a quietness that was alive, wrapping itself around me. I thought I had fallen asleep, but what came next? I know now it wasn't a dream. The first thing I noticed was that I was still in the hospital room, but I was no longer in my body. I was standing near the ceiling, looking down, watching the doctors work frantically. One of them pressed on my chest, another shouted something about no pulse, but I wasn't afraid. The fear, the pain, the chaos, it was all far away from me. Then, without warning, the room began to dissolve. The walls, the noise, even the air, it all melted into light, pure light. It wasn't white. It was alive. It had color, sound, warmth. It flowed like liquid love. I felt it moving through me, filling every place in my soul that had ever been broken. The deeper I went into that light, the more I felt like I was remembering something I had always known, like going home after a lifetime away. Then I heard it, a voice. It wasn't coming from around me. It came from within and above at the same time, a voice unlike any human voice, deep, calm, and filled with an impossible love. It spoke my name, just my name, and in that single moment, every memory, every pain, every regret fell away, because I knew exactly who was speaking to me. It was Jesus. When I turned, I saw him. He stood in the light, radiant, clothed in white that shimmered like liquid gold. But what struck me most wasn't his appearance, it was his eyes. When I looked into his eyes, I saw everything. My childhood, my mistakes, my pain, my prayers, and yet there was no judgment, only love, perfect, pure love. I fell to my knees, trembling. He reached out his hand, and when his fingers touched my shoulder, an energy surged through me so powerful, it felt like creation itself. He said softly, "Peace, be still." I tried to speak, to ask where I was, but he already knew my thoughts. He smiled and said, "You are with me, but you cannot stay. There is still more for you to do." I didn't want to leave the peace, the beauty. It was unlike anything on earth. I could see rolling fields of light, colors that don't exist here, rivers that shimmered with what looked like liquid crystal. I heard what sounded like thousands of voices singing in perfect harmony. Yet it wasn't a song, it was worship, but alive, woven into the air itself. I remember thinking, if this is heaven, then I never want to leave. But Jesus' eyes were gentle, and I felt his sorrow too, as if he wished I could stay, but something greater was calling me back. He said, "Tell them that I am real. Tell them that my love never left. Tell them I am coming for those who call my name." As he spoke, I began to see things, like flashes or visions. I saw people on earth crying in darkness, sitting alone with despair in their hearts. I saw families breaking apart, children feeling forgotten. I saw people who once believed, now drowning in doubt. And Jesus said, "Tell them I still hear. Tell them I still forgive. My mercy is not finished." Then I felt something shift. The light around me grew brighter, and a warmth like the sun surrounded me. I thought he was going to show me more, but instead I felt myself being pulled backward. I cried out, "Please don't let me go." And Jesus said one last thing, "You will see me again, but not yet." Everything went dark. Then came the sound, the beeping, the shouting, the chaos of the hospital. My eyes flew open. Air rushed into my lungs like fire. I gasped, coughing, tears streaming down my face. I heard someone yell, "She's back! We got her back!" My husband was crying. The nurse's hands were shaking, and all I could whisper, over and over, was, "I heard him. I heard Jesus." They told me I had been gone for 7 minutes. 7 minutes without a heartbeat. But I knew where I had been. I knew what I had seen. In the days that followed, I couldn't stop thinking about his voice. It echoed in my mind every time I closed my eyes. The doctors said it was a hallucination, a reaction of the brain to trauma, but they didn't feel what I felt. They didn't see that light. Everything looked different now. The sky, the faces of people I loved. Even pain felt different, smaller somehow, because I knew there was something greater waiting beyond it. I began to tell everyone I met. Some believed me, others didn't, but that didn't matter, because I knew my purpose now wasn't to convince, it was to testify. I was sent back for a reason, to tell you that He's real, that His voice still calls out, that heaven isn't a distant dream, it's the truest reality there is. Sometimes, when I pray at night, I still hear that whisper, "Tell them I still heal." And I do, every day. Because I know that no matter how dark this world feels, no matter how far we fall, there's a voice, gentle, powerful, eternal, that's still calling us home. And that voice is Jesus.